Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Carers World Radio, live in London at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. So perhaps I should project a little bit more, and maybe I need to ask my guests to project a little bit more. The reason we're here is it's Young Carers Awareness Day across the UK, and tonight there's a screening of a special film. So without further ado, let's move to my first guest, who is Jamie Galt, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Action for Carers Surrey. Welcome to the programme, Jamie.
Thank you for having me on.
So, why this film?
Well, the identification of young carers remains a key issue. In fact, a recent YouGov poll produced for Barnardo's indicated that 40% of teachers are uncomfortable in the identification of young carers. So to address that, we commissioned Theatre of Debate to produce a play which focuses on the everyday lives of young carers and the impact of their caring role on their lives and on their education.
How do schools sit with this film?
Well, primarily at schools, but also other professionals who work with children would benefit from seeing it. To one, help them identify young carers, refer them to the appropriate services such as Surrey Young Carers, but also within schools themselves to put in place support mechanisms to support young carers in their caring role.
So, how do you envisage it, for example, maybe in a school? How would a school use this film, for example?
Well, it's more than just a film. There is a digital PHSE resource which sits behind it, and they would use it as an entire lesson. So to raise awareness, to help young carers identify themselves, and also to help their peer group realise what it is to be a young carer.
We're going to see some of the film later on in the course of this programme, through till 9. How would schools go about getting a copy of this film, for example?
Well, once we've had the premiere tonight, we're going to roll it out across all secondary schools in Surrey and also in Frimley Heath as well. Subsequently to that, schools will be able to purchase the PHSE resource, which is fully downloadable, and we will be publishing details of that later in February.
So where do you think, I mean, obviously the debate in a sense with the film is about revealing to people the life of young carers, possibly even with some of our views making them realise that they are actually young carers, which is perhaps a bit of a surprise. But how do you take, I hate to use the word battle, fight, but politics these days is like that. How do you get to the next stage, which is take it beyond saying this is what a young carer's life looks like, these are the sort of pressures they're facing, and actually get the decision makers to actually make some progress on this front, beyond just simply recognising young carers?
Well, I think there's always more that can be done, but the 2014 Care Act and also the Families Act has placed a legal responsibility on schools, teachers and professionals who work closely with young children to identify young carers. As I highlighted at the beginning, the YouGov poll suggests that many people, teachers, 50% of them who took part in the survey, still find it difficult to recognise young carers. So what we are hoping is that the film and aligned resources will promote and support the identification of young carers in schools. But then the next stage is that the schools, working with agencies such as Surrey Young Carers, will be able to put in the support mechanisms to support the young carers identified in their caring.
And obviously you're going to be looking to see what audience reaction is, and we'll obviously talk to you later on in the programme. But I gather when you were, I don't know, piloting it or whatever, you had an audience with keypads making reactions. So what sort of impression do you get of the audience reaction?
Well, the Theatre of Debate model is to ask some questions before the performance and then post the performance. And one of the key questions asked was, how much do you know about young carers? Now, before the performance, the two upper quartiles, we had something in the region of about 25% knew quite a bit or a lot. post-performance, that number increased to nearly 80%. So I think that illustrates the impact that the performance had. What we hoped is that I might be sitting there with a friend and I would say, well, that's what my friend Ron does. But I'd never thought of it that way. But Ron may be sat there thinking, that's what I do. And actually, a number of young carers post-performance actually self-identified. In one class alone, 6 came forward post-performance. And I think that's what's really important.
Okay. Well, let's see later on, but for the moment, Jamie Gault, thank you very much indeed. So, Young Carers Awareness Day was first thought of by the Carers Trust. Not represented on this programme tonight. I mean, later on, while the programme is being screened, we're going to be showing you some extracts because, for copyright reasons, we're not actually allowed to show you the whole film tonight during this live programme. We'll also be looking across at Norfolk and seeing what young carers there are doing today. Norfolk Family Carers have been asking young carers to say 5 things they'd like people to know. Welcome to Carers World Live, John Banks, who's Surrey County Council Commissioner. John, if I think I've got your title right. Welcome to the programme. You're live on Carers World Radio Plus.
Hi.
Hi. And we're obviously a friend of the programme. You've been over quite some time. We've spoken about different carers issues across ages. What do you believe is the significance of tonight, this screening of this film?
It's a very helpful new resource for use in schools. We have in the past in Surrey had schools resources, but I think this play helps take it to another level. As you may already have covered, there were 13 performances in 13 schools, 25 sessions, and it's been turned into a film, and we think that would be a really useful resource for raising awareness in the classroom.
One of the things I was talking to Jamie Gault from Action for Carers Surrey was about in the piloting of this film, or in one of those performances, the audience were asked before and after by means of keypads. How valuable an exercise is that, do you think? Because I don't think they're having keypads tonight, but we'll obviously be assessing the reaction.
Well, it was certainly useful. It helped engage the students in interacting with the play. I don't have the figures before me, but the National Census suggests one figure of the numbers of carers in Britain, 175,000. But there was research, as you've covered on your programme before, done for BBC that suggested there are 700,000, which is 2 or 3 in every senior school classroom.
One of the sorry, go on.
Well, the feedback from the young people watching the play suggested there might even be more. Now, whether some of them were sort of responding in the heat of the moment and may not truly be young carers, but certainly the feedback suggested there at very least the numbers suggested by the BBC research, and it's quite telling as well.
One of the things that's clear about this play is it goes into it digs deep into the emotional state of both of the characters. Set against the school background, elsewhere in the overall news environment, there's a lot of stories about bullying these days and cyberbullying and things like that. What would make a young carer risk perhaps bullying from his or her peers to say, put their hand up in an old-fashioned school term and say, I'm a young carer?
Well, I think young people, I think if you use materials like that to get out there the fact that caring is part of life, and actually it's normal for there to be 2 or 3 carers in any class, and therefore if you've got a young carer in your class, they're not a weirdo, it's just normal. And if you get that out there so it's understood in the school population, then I think that vastly diminishes the risk of bullying. Young carers can be picked on if you don't do that awareness raising. It's kind of almost disability awareness raising in a sense, and which is a byproduct of this demand.
Then you're listening to Carers World Radio live at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London at the screening, or just before the screening, of a film called People Like Us. The film was produced and directed by Nigel Townsend from Theatre of Debate, and we'll be seeing him a little later on in the programme, catching up with him, perhaps looking about some of the issues behind the play and how they've actually managed to portray these issues, because having seen the film already, sort of a little bit stolen a march on you, I can tell you that it very much covers the really digs deep into the minds of the two principal characters in the film. More about that later, but I'm now joined on Carers World Live by, I think, a teacher and a student. David, if I could start with you first. One of the things I was covering with my previous guest, John Banks from Surrey County Council, was young carers don't exist in a bubble. And in the play, as people will see when it comes to the play, the school's in the background. The school doesn't come to it, but possibly the effect of the school comes into the play itself. You can't ignore the fact that young carers potentially face bullying for saying, I'm a young carer. How do you as a school deal with that?
Well, I think for us, why the drama angle is so powerful is because it's really important when dealing with these kind of issues to be very proactive, but also to be subtle in how you approach it. For me, that can't be top down, it can't be driven by the hierarchy of the school. It has to be about opening up dialogue and discussion, because I think we're aware in our school that there are many young carers. Some we're aware of, but many we aren't. And there's a fear around opening up and some of maybe the stigma or revealing things about family life that people might be frightened of talking about.
You're nodding wildly there, obviously something striking a chord. Just give us an insight into your story, effectively.
Creating a service for myself, and I'm having a look at coaches and stuff like that, and I'm creating a service for young carers in the community and helping people within our school and our community to overcome the stigma attached to it. Because I think it's almost stigmatised, and when we approach the topic of young carers, it's very honest and something, but I think the beauty of this event here today is that it's driven by artistic expression, which is easy for young people to communicate. And I think the message was very well delivered.
You just tuned in, you're listening to Carers World Radio live from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, RADA, in London. And we're looking forward to the screening in about half an hour of a new film called People Like Us. It features the story of two young carers, a boy and a girl, and one has been identified already, one doesn't actually realise herself she's a young carer, and so we'll be seeing a little bit of that later. We're not, for copyright reasons, going to be able to show you the whole of the film tonight, but we've got some extracts to show you viewing online. Joining us now, my next guest on the programme is Professor Sue Pullins. I hope I've pronounced your surname.
You did indeed.
Thank you very much indeed. Welcome to the programme. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to make you introduce yourself as to how you fit into this event on Young Carers Day.
Okay, so I'm a professor of applied health sciences up in the University of Leeds, and I work with the artistic director Nigel on a number of projects. But in my role as a scientist, I also work with the Multiple Sclerosis Society. So I see firsthand the impact of that condition and that disease on the families and the needs of the carers there. So really it's just absolutely fascinating that this play is highlighting the needs of the carers. So
it's almost in, and obviously our viewers are going to see some of the depth of the drama, because it is a deep drama. It almost is as though the young carers at the end of it are almost, if you like, expert psychologists in their own right. They've been through such a range of emotions, and some young carers will have gone through the whole range, some won't have gone through the whole range, but there's probably something in it for everybody to recognise. What do you think of it?
Oh, absolutely, and I think the nice thing is that you get within a community like the Multiple Sclerosis Charity, the support for the carers as well at all different ages, and that people that are more experienced, they've got chat rooms and things that they can come in and use. But that's one charity and one condition. And of course, a lot of people in the primary schools, they haven't reached out and don't know about charities, and there's no support for them. So I think the play also will highlight the needs of this sort of almost forgotten group of people that just serve our community and their families in a sort of thankless job really, but they know no other world really.
While the evening continued with gusto, the internet didn't, and unfortunately the venue Wi-Fi signal deteriorated so much that it was impossible to reproduce what was broadcast. But there was quiet excitement as the curtain rose on the play People Like Us.
Mum? 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 Mum?
Gemma?
Mum, what happened?
I'm sorry, I must have banged my head. Thank God for you, Gemma. Thank God for you.
Come on, let's get you to bed.
You're my bridge, you know that. My bridge.
People don't believe me when I tell them who I look after. They take one look at me and they think I'm probably not even capable of looking after myself. I'm 16. I'm a boy, I look a bit different, but you know what? It takes all sorts. And there is definitely all sorts in my family. First of all, there's my mum. She's got severe rheumatoid arthritis. She's in a wheelchair. And there's my dad. He's got bipolar. And then there's my older brother, Zeb the Legend. He's got Asperger's. We call him Zeb the Legend because that's what he is, a complete legend. His powers of concentration are beyond belief. He's really into music production, you know, making beats and all that. He'll sit up all night working on the same beat over and over again until it's completely perfect. He's so good, he's got his own YouTube channel and people from all over the world listen to his music. Me and Zeb, we've got a special kind of connection because ever since I was a baby, I've had the power to calm him down. He gets really anxious sometimes, but my mum says, as soon as I was born, as soon as he held me in his arms, he just went all kind of still and peaceful. Just stopped fretting, sat completely still and just stared at me, lying there, gurgling and farting in his arms. So yeah, I guess that's where my life as a young carer first started. When I was a baby, and I calmed my older brother Zeb down for the very first time.
On this Young Carers Awareness Day, Norfolk family carers have been asking some of the young and young adult carers that they support in Norfolk to tell them what life is like as a young carer, asking them to name 5 things that they would wish you to know. Figures from the 2011 census show that there are more than 5,000 young carers in Norfolk, although that number is thought to be much higher in reality. A young carer is anyone who looks after a family member or friend who has a physical disability, a mental health condition, a learning difficulty, or a drug or alcohol misuse problem. There is likely to be at least one young carer in every school or college classroom in the county. Most young carers have more responsibilities and pressures to deal with than other young people. For example, when they're at home, they might help by doing the cooking or the washing. They might provide physical care, helping a parent to get out of bed or to get dressed. They may look after siblings, manage medication and provide emotional support. All of this while going to school or college and dealing with the everyday challenges of growing up. On the outside, these young people look no different to their peers, but they're coping with things that many adults would find hard. Here's what young carers in Norfolk would like you to know about their lives. First of all, they say, I've had to grow up more quickly than my friends. Saying, for example, being a young carer helps you to grow up fast and understand the hardships in life more than most people our age can. It's a lot more stressful than other young people realise. I'm not a normal teenager. I know what's right and wrong. For example, I don't want to drink or smoke. I act a lot older than my friends. I feel like I've matured and become more independent than my friends. Secondly, no one knew I was a carer. Not even me. I kept that I was a carer to myself and never told anyone. A lot of carers don't realise they're carers. Thirdly, I've gained lots of skills. I've had to take responsibility for things I never thought I would. I know all about wheelchairs and scooters. When people compliment how caring you are, it means a lot. We think about who we care for with the same worry of a parent for a child. I feel very useful helping my mum, but I worry about her when I go out. Fourthly, caring can be rewarding, but it's hard. I find caring rewarding knowing that I'm doing some good. I'm always tired. Caring does take a toll on your well-being, but it can be manageable. I am stressed and tired. I enjoy helping and I want people to acknowledge the hard work we do. People don't realise you're always on alert. You sleep with one eye open. When we tell you we're young carers, don't pity us. It can make us feel worthless, upset and embarrassed, which no one would wish to feel when they're young. Fifth and last, keeping up with schoolwork and a social life is tricky. I miss out on social opportunities. I don't get out much mainly due to being at home caring. When I do, it's often just for a short time at weekends. Keeping up with college is hard. I'm behind with my course. I'm always worrying about mum, and this then affects my sleep and college work. You sacrifice a lot, social life and sometimes free time for yourself. I find it hard to get out and make friends. Many of the young people that Norfolk Family Carers spoke to felt strongly that young carers deserve more recognition, which would in turn, they say, make their lives easier. One of the Norfolk young carers, Connie Ann, stood out with her statement in words, voiced by one of the Carers World Radio Plus production team.
Caring is different for everyone. We all have feelings and have ways to deal with it, but putting them last and focusing on your job can be difficult at times. However, it's worth it for the ones you love. Caring for the ones in my life is hard, but I wouldn't want it any other way, because I know I'm doing the right thing. When we tell we're young carers, you don't pity us. It can make us feel worthless, upset, embarrassed, which no one would wish to feel when dealing with life as a young carer. I'm a young carer, and I would ask you, would you leave your parents when they need you the most? It seems like I'm asking you a simple question, but for me it's surviving and being a good human being. It's a choice and a life I choose out of love and respect. I enjoy helping and I want people to acknowledge the hard work we do. I've been given the opportunity to drive a moped due to my limited transportation from where I live. Just the simple thing of giving me a head start in life. I can go shopping when needs be, get a job and have a social life. It's something I'm most grateful for, and if this simple thing can help me imagine what it'd be like for others. I'm not a normal teenager because I know what's right and what's wrong. I'm stubborn and won't let anyone force me to do things I don't want to do. For example, smoking and drinking. I feel as though I'm mature for my age due to these reasons. I don't feel any difference because I know I'm who I am and show an untold confidence about myself to others, which can be quite intimidating at times. Being a young carer helps you to grow up fast and understand the hardships in life than most other people our age can. It's used to being hard at school. I hated it. But I have dyslexia. My brain works differently to yours, and it gets so frustrating. I only found out near the end of my school experience, which didn't help with my results, because I got no help. It's hard when you look at and act normal, like everyone. Then you think you're normal. But you're not. Your brain doesn't work like you want it to, or how things want it to. I want people to recognise being a young carer is tricky, when you try to balance your life with it. So please, help us to make it easier to help others.
And so to the second extract of the play, People Like Us.
When you're weary and feeling small.
Mum. Mum.
Oh, hello, darling. What's up?
Mum, I've been texting you and calling you all day. Yes, I thought you... Why don't you ever check your phone?
Sorry, I've been painting. I've been asked to enter something at the exhibition at the Art Centre. I'm doing this. It's our bridge, darling. I switched my phone off, because I was in the zone.
Mum, I thought after last night...
I was just feeling okay today, so I thought I'd make the most of it.
I've been worried, sick. I thought you'd fallen again, hit your head or something.
I'm sorry. I promise I will turn my phone on in future, okay? Oh, hey, guess what I've got lined up for this evening?
What?
Something guaranteed to cheer you up. It's your favourite ever movie.
Breakfast Club?
No. Your other favourite movie?
Finding Nemo?
No! Grease!
Really?
See, I knew that would cheer you up. It's a sing-along version with the lyrics and everything.
Yeah, Mum, I really need to do some revision.
How about an hour of revision followed by Grease? I've got cream soda and popcorn.
How about some actual dinner?
Pizza?
Again.
Pasta then. I'll do it while you're revising.
Can you manage the pans?
I will give you a shout if I can't. Go on, you know you want to.
Okay. But I'm going to do an hour and a half revision first because I'm falling behind.
Okey doke.
I was identified as a young carer by my English teacher, Miss Nolan, in Year 8. She started wondering about me because I never did any homework and I was always turning up late to period 1 on a Tuesday. I fell so far behind she had to demote me to Set B, but the last lesson I had with her, she kept me back after class to talk to me, and that's when it all came out. You see, my mum had been having big problems with her arthritis. Her knees were swelling up like footballs, and my dad was having one of his episodes, wandering around the house all night talking to himself in this loud voice, and Zeb was getting more and more worried and anxious and scared. I started telling Miss Nolan, and it just came flooding out about how worried I was about everyone and everything, and she just leant towards me, looked me in the eyes, and she said, "What about you, Tyler? How are you?" And I just, well, to be honest, I burst into tears. After that, the school referred me to a young carers group. I started getting more help, and I realised I should have been identified years ago. I got involved in the young carers group then. It's a group I go to outside of school. It's run by a local charity, but I still didn't get as much help at school as I needed. It was like, once they referred me, that was it. Job done, let someone else sort him out. It makes me angry, but now when I'm angry, I write about it. Instead of lashing out at people and shouting like I used to, because ever since Miss Nolan said I was good at poetry, I've been writing a little bit here and there. My latest is called A Day in the Life of Tyler Dodds, Young Carer. My plan is to see if they'll let me perform it live at the school inset day. I want to show the school what it's like for someone like me. And I don't know, maybe they'll start giving us a bit more help. Anyway, watch this space. A poem type thing will be coming up. I'll find the time to write it.
Why are you staring at me?
I'm watching the cogs turn in your mega ASEP brain.
Are you? Did you learn anything? Because you need to. This is hopeless.
No, I'm rubbish at maths.
Have you always been rubbish at maths?
I was alright at primary.
Weren't you an A set in year 7 and 8?
No, that was English. Miss Nolan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she said I was good at poetry.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Well, I'm glad you're good at something because your maths is.
Oh, well, maybe I got that thing where I can't do numbers.
Dyscalculia?
Yeah, that.
Seriously?
Well, either that or I'm just thick.
You're not thick, Tyler.
You don't think so?
Look, this homework is all about converting decimals into fractions.
Right, and a fraction's where you've got a number, a line underneath, and then another number, innit?
Yeah, like a half or a quarter.
Go on.
Right, so what you need to do here is convert the decimal 0.75 into a fraction. So you write 75 over 100, and then to get the actual fraction, you need to simplify or cancel down, right? That means dividing the top number and the bottom number down until you can't divide anymore.
Right.
Right, so we're looking for a number that divides into 75 and into 100.
25.
Yes, very good.
Thank you, miss.
So, 25 goes into 75 3 times, and then 25 goes into 100.
4 times, miss.
Yes, which is 3 over 4, which is...
3/4, miss.
See? There you go. Not thick. You don't have dyscalculia. And stop calling me miss.
Is that all I had to do?
Yeah? Did they not teach you that in BSAT?
They might have done it when I was away or something. Anyway, thank you for the help with the maths, but what does it matter?
What do you mean, what does it matter? GCSE maths is the one that matters the most. That and English, they're both important.
Yes, so they keep telling us.
Well, do you not want any qualifications?
Look, I've missed so many lessons, I'm probably going to have to do another boring year here anyway. Retake the exams.
You're not staying on for sixth form anyway.
I wanted to go to college instead. Do a BTEC in health and social care, but I've got to get a C or above in both English and maths if I want to do a level 3.
I think you can get C's, Tyler.
Can I? I mean, I have missed so many lessons.
Well, can the school not help you catch up? Send work home, give you extensions?
Okay, I don't know how much you know about me, but I'm a young carer, okay? I look after people in my family. Yes, the school is meant to help, but that doesn't happen as much as it should do.
Right, well, you know, teachers are busy, aren't they? They just don't
I
have
know
the
they're
time.
busy, but that's not a good enough excuse.
Well, they do have a lot on their plates. You know, my mum, she's an art teacher. She used to come home late, exhausted, lots of marking still to do. She really cared about her students, but she couldn't do everything. We're not social workers, we're teachers. That's what
I get
used
that.
to say.
I get that they're not social workers, but they've got a duty to look after vulnerable students. That's including young carers. I learn about it in the group I go to.
Okay.
I know, it's really important. No, look. Some teachers do help. Snowden's been amazing. She identified me.
Well, you know Maisie's brother got a B in English Lit. Hadn't even read any of the books.
Yeah, but I bet Maisie's dad's like a university professor or something. What?
He's a lecturer in English literature.
Well, there you go. No, I shouldn't need to pass an exam to do the health and social care course. I've been living health and social care all my life. I've got enough life skills to run the health and social care course.
Yes, but like you said, you need a grade C in maths to get on the
If
course.
I'd been given more help with my maths, though, we wouldn't even be talking about this. I guess if I get a D, I can start on a lower level and work my way up.
You've got a brother with Asperger's, haven't you? Seb the Legend? Yeah, he's got a bit of a following on YouTube, hasn't he?
20,000 and counting. Do you follow him?
No, but I will do. No.
You should. You should do. I mean, his music is amazing. Also, I'm on it. I do all the intros and stuff.
And your mum's disabled as well, isn't she? I saw you pushing her wheelchair in town.
Yeah. I help with her and my dad. He's got bipolar.
That's a hell of a lot to cope with.
But I cope with it. That's what I'm saying. I'm good at this. I shouldn't need no GCSEs to do the POXI Health and Social Care course.
My, oh, well, my mum's not too well at the moment, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's got multiple sclerosis, MS.
Oh, God. I'm really sorry. That's Seb's ringtone. I'm going to have to take this.
It's fine, it's fine.
Hello? Yeah. Yes, Seb. It's all right, okay? Okay, I'll sing it. I'll sing it. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Sorry about this. It calms him down.
No, it's fine. Nice singing.
Yeah? Yes, Zeb, and if that mockingbird don't sing, Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring. Thank you for the help with the maths today.
You're welcome. I could help you more if you'd like.
Yeah, Zeb, yes. Really, I mean, that'd be amazing. And I do want to hear about your mum, okay?
Oh, sure, don't worry. That's fine. I'll see you soon.
Yeah? Yeah, Zeb, I'm still here, buddy. I'm still here.
But it's not just on the stage where the message of young carers is to stand up and be counted. While People Like Us has a Hollywood feel to it, the story of Megan has a darker air of atmosphere, shown in full by kind permission of NHS England, who commissioned the short film Out of the Woods.
I first realised I was a young carer when I was 12. After Mum was diagnosed, I had to help her get washed and dressed, make her take her tablets, cook 3 meals every day, as well as having school and homework. No breaks, no days off. It felt like I was lost and alone, with no way out of the woods. I think I knew there were other young carers like me out there, but I didn't know how to find them or talk to them. And my other friends called me horrible names. They thought I was stuck up. None of them understood why I couldn't go out and have fun. When I moved schools in year 10, I ended up keeping it a secret altogether. Being a young carer means worrying. About not knowing my future. About Mum not taking her tablets. Getting to school on time, getting to sleep at night, being judged, being alone. And all the time, Mum's pain is getting worse and worse. And there's never going to be anything I can actually do to make her better. At one point, I even wished I'd been born into a normal family. I felt so guilty that had even crossed my mind. Because I love my mum so much, and she knows she's the one who's supposed to be taking care of me, but that doesn't change anything. Even when I didn't have the energy left to pick up a finger, I couldn't worry about my own health because I had to keep going on my own. Eventually it felt like I'd just hit a wall, and I wasn't sure if I was strong enough to hold it together anymore. I wouldn't have known what to say to a GP. I was too scared to even wish for any help, in case I got disappointed. But then one day, a teacher asked me why I was upset, and it all just came out. She told me about a Young Carers project. And suddenly, there were people I could talk to, new friends I could make. I wasn't alone anymore. They even arranged extra help for my mum, and I felt like there'd been a load of bricks lifted off my chest. It was scary at first, but just having somebody to talk to who understood was such a relief. I stopped worrying about school so much. I started believing everything might be okay. I felt like I could be in control of my life again. I could be safe, happy, maybe even change the world. I didn't choose for my life to be like this, but the strange thing is, now I wouldn't have it any other way. If I could say anything to young carers who might be afraid to ask for help, I'd tell them that they should never ever feel ashamed or scared to speak up. It may seem tough or hopeless, or like you'll never be able to smile again, but it gets better. You'll make amazing friends, and the challenge will make you stronger. There's a light that can be found. There is a way out of the woods.
At Carers World Radio Plus, it's not just about telling a story, but taking this to the decision makers. First, Labour's Alex Cunningham.
I don't think any of us really understand the whole pressures that are on young people who are also carers, whether that's carer for a sibling or for a parent or another relative. We don't really understand the pressures that are on day to day, never mind, around the Christmas period. So I think we need to start there, understand a lot better what challenges the young people are facing at Christmas time and other special days, to see what can be done. How can we actually help them to have a better Christmas? One idea, off the top of my head is just, how can we link them in with other people for that particular day? Is there a society answer? Would they wanted a society answer? We need to know what these people need, what they actually want, and what they would be comfortable with.
Isn't it inevitable, though, with a Christmas period, no matter if you have very good external support, that external support is probably not going to be there at Christmas. Is it not inevitable that it's going to land in the lap of the family, to be brutally honest?
It does land in the lap of the family, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be looking for, a wider societal solution to this. I know there are so many organisations doing different things. For example, I know that there's a huge pensioners' party taking place, in the run-up to Christmas, because that's not Christmas Day itself. So we need to be able to work with young people and help them, help us to design the sorts of things that they would like. But you're right, it does fall, right into the bosom of the family in that situation. But some of our young carers, in fact, most of the young carers, almost everyone that I've ever met, they're tremendously resilient. They make the best of some very, very difficult circumstances, and we have to be full of admiration for them. Locally in Stockton, we have the Eastern Ravens Trust, and I've seen young carers who have ended up working for the Young Carers organisation later in life because they understand the issues and things that young people are facing, and perhaps we need to buy in a little bit more to what people like that are saying and thinking as well.
One of the subjects that we've been constantly going on about on Carers World Radio Plus is the carers strategy, over which there was a consultation last year, but nothing's happened since, and now it appears officially it's been kicked into touch and is now going to be part of the Green Paper consultation on social care next summer. Is any sort of official help further away than ever now, do you think?
Well, it would appear so. I mean, it looks as though the government have kicked it well and truly into the long grass. But, we can't just be critical of government. We've got to look wider than that as well, into society. We've got to think in terms of what are local authorities doing. And locally in Stockton-on-Tees, the Eastern Ravens Trust, they're commissioned to do work by the local authority, and they do that extremely well. But, there is so much more to be done in the carers arena, whether it's a young carer or an older carer. One of the things that I've been looking at as the Shadow Pensions Minister is what could we do for carers in terms of pensions, so that we're trying to look at their life not just in today, but we're actually looking at their lives in the future as well.
One of the things that Norman Lamb for the Lib Dems has spoken about a fair amount on Carers World Radio Plus is the virtue of cross-party work on the subject of not just young carers but carers in general. Do you feel that could hold the key to the future of a sustainable system of support?
I certainly do, because, we all-party parliamentary group, of which I'm a member, it comes together, it discusses issues, it holds inquiries, it listens to what carers have got to say and comes up with very clear recommendations. But of course, recommendations are all well and good from a group of well-meaning cross-party members of parliament. What we need to be able to do is then, get that into legislation, if legislation is needed to deliver the appropriate support or deliver on the recommendations that are made. But, there are people across the House here who have got a tremendous heart for carers, and, they want to do something to help, but often, issues like this are almost sidelined because, the place is too busy to deal with them, and that's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, certainly we've had a bit of a struggle getting people to speak to us because of Brexit. Brexit seems to have taken over the world.
Well, Brexit has taken over the world, most certainly, but, there's so many other just as important, if not more important things, and, when I look at the work that local carers, young carers in particular, do in my own area, I think, well, we should be, putting people first, and, we need to get on with Brexit, yes, but we also have to remember that there's another world out there. There's a tremendous range of responsibilities that we have as parliamentarians, and we need to find the time to do them.
Liberal Democrat former Coalition Minister, the Right Honourable Norman Lamb MP, doesn't hold back on the issue.
Well, bottom line is we're letting down young carers horribly. The burden that a young carer faces is, I think, often unimaginable, really. It's quite extraordinary what so many youngsters manage to do for a parent or for a sibling, and it has a significant impact on their well-being and on their education, and respite from that is enormously important to give them some balance in their life. And often we expect too much from young people. Very many children and young people who have a disabled parent or sibling want to play their part, but we should always make sure that it's manageable and that it's not beyond what should properly be expected of a child or a young person. And the loss of respite over Christmas is really unacceptable in the extreme, and it's just yet another example of a health and care system that is under impossible pressure. And across the country, families are finding short breaks removed. This is where situations where parents are looking after profoundly disabled youngsters, but we're also seeing examples like the one you describe of a young person having their respite removed, and indeed also very many people finding it impossible to access mental health care. These are the first symptoms of a system under impossible pressure.
In a time when government finances are really being pushed to the limits, there's a lot of talk of Brexit, which seems to distract a lot of politicians from talking about normal everyday issues. Against that sort of background, do we as users of the system, carers, really have a right to be properly supported, or is it simply a matter of adjusting to the fact that we really got to rely on our family?
Well, in a civilised society, we ought to be ensuring that those who need support get it. And I don't think it's beyond the wit of man or woman to design and fund a modern, efficient and effective health and care system that meets people's needs. But we're failing to do that at the moment. And one of the, in a way, the opportunity costs of the whole Brexit process is that capacity within government is completely taken up with the whole Brexit process, and it has no time to address some of the other big challenges we face, such as the state of our health and care system and how we fund a health and care system with an ageing society. So I don't think we should be in a state of mind where we just abandon all hope of achieving a civilized situation. These are political choices, and we must continue to make the case for this sort of provision to be a priority. And indeed, that's why I keep arguing for parties to work together. I coordinated the letter that was referred to on the BBC 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was signed by 90 MPs from across the parties, calling on the Prime Minister to set up a cross-party process, what we're calling an NHS and Care Convention, to engage with the public, with staff in the NHS and the care system, with a view to coming up with a new long-term settlement for the NHS and the care system.
You and I have discussed the subject of the carers strategy on a number of occasions on Carers World Radio Plus. That strategy now seems to have officially disappeared or been incorporated in the Green Paper discussions on social care, and those have been moved now from the autumn through to next summer. Is some sort of help and proper assistance in the civilised society that you speak of, is that even further away now, do you think, than it was maybe 6 months ago or at the time of the election?
Well, it feels like that. And I think one of the problems we have is that for most families getting on with their lives, they perhaps don't really notice the strains that are now there in the system. It's only when someone in the family falls ill and the family discovers that, for example, the cancer waiting time standard is no longer being met in many parts of the country, which puts more people at risk, because we know that early treatment improves outcomes with cancer. It's when people discover that with a disabled mother or father that they can't get the care that they need. It's when a young carer discovers that they can't get respite care. It's only when these sort of crises hit families that you become aware of the unacceptable strain that there is now on the system. But the cumulative effect across our country of so many families now suffering the consequences in one way or another, for me, is unacceptable. And we will continue, I and my colleagues from across parties. I'm working together with Liz Kendall, for example, and Sarah Wollaston, who's the Conservative chair of the Health Select Committee. All three of us, representing the three parties here, we all share the view that this needs to be confronted, and confronted on a cross-party basis.
But as the Conservatives are in charge, the buck stops with the government of the day. Enter the new Minister of State, Caroline Dinenage, not quite yet ready to be interviewed, but there have been more encouraging noises about cooperation with Carers World Radio Plus. For the moment, this is a statement of the background to the government's position on young carers, voiced by Tim Matthews from the Carers World Radio Plus production team.
Section 96 of the Children and Families Act 2014 came into effect on the 1st of April 2015. This introduced significant new rights for young carers. All young carers are now entitled to an assessment of their needs for support, regardless of the level or type of care they provide. These new provisions work alongside those in the Care Act 2014 for assessing the needs of adults to enable whole-family approach to assessment and support. This means that when a child is identified as a young carer, the needs of everyone in the family will be considered. This will trigger both children's and adults' support services into action, assessing why a child is caring, what needs to change, and what would help the family to prevent children from taking on this responsibility in the first place. New regulations also set out the considerations that local authorities need to make in carrying out an assessment of young carers' support needs. Additional information jointly published by the Association of Directors of Adult Social Services and the Association of Directors of Children's Services provides further assistance to professionals working with young carers and their families. They are people who may not have a background in children's services. Its aim is to encourage a shared understanding of children's needs, so young carers, the people they care for, and others in their families are provided with effective support. Young carers are this country's unsung heroes, selflessly providing support for the people they love, but their own needs can often be overlooked. That's why we changed the law to help ensure young carers are identified and supported as early as possible, and services are in place to support them.
And here, a statement issued exclusively to Carers World Radio Plus from the new Minister of State, Caroline Dinenage. Young carers are this country's unsung heroes, tirelessly providing support for the people they love. I am determined to ensure young carers aren't left behind. Whilst the government is already taking action to ensure young carers and their families are supported, I am clear we can do more, and we will consider this both as part of the Social Care Green Paper due to be published in the summer and in our Carers Action Plan. And so to the finale of the film People Like Us, aiming through drama to encourage young carers to stand up and be recognised. I'll see you next time on Carers World Radio Plus.
I'm off now. I've got my maths exam. Mum? Mum, wake up. Oh my God. Yes? Hello, ambulance? Yeah, no, it's my mum. I think she's just taken an overdose. Vodka and pills? No. Yes, multiple sclerosis. Okay. It's 17 Brownington House. Please hurry. Oh, Tyler, I'm really sorry. I think my mum's just taken an overdose.
Okay, have you called an ambulance?
Yes.
Okay, look, I've just left the house. I'll be there in a sec.
Okay, the code's 9481. Mum? 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 Mum, don't go back to sleep, please. Please, Mum, you have to wake up. Please, Mum. Mum, wake up, please. Please, I came in to say goodbye. She's just lying here with this empty bottle of pills on the floor. So I didn't know what to do, so I called the ambulance and I called you.
Okay, what are those, painkillers?
Yes, she takes them at night sometimes.
Gemma, how many were left in the bottle?
Don't know. I think she might have taken all of... Oh, my God.
Okay, now, Gemma, you need to take some deep breaths, okay? We don't know if she's taken the pills, okay? But she's drunk a lot of vodka. We need to sit her up if we can. Keep her warm, get her some water.
Who's that?
It's all right. I'm Tyler.
Tyler. Did you take any tablets?
I think I drank too much to drink.
What about any tablets?
No. I need a new prescription.
Thank God.
Oh, God. I feel terrible.
How much have you had to drink?
I don't know. Gemma.
Yeah?
I'm gonna be sick.
Okay.
Help me to the bathroom.
Okay. She's being sick.
That's good. It means she's getting the alcohol out of her system.
I'm so sorry. I feel so ashamed.
It's all right. I've seen it all before. You don't have to feel ashamed with me, Gemma.
You're going to miss the maths exam.
Yeah, I've had a thought about that.
What?
I think you should go. I'll go to the hospital with your mum.
I can't believe you do that for me.
I would, so...
No, God!
Gemma!
No, I can't let you do that for me.
Well, one of us ought to go.
Gemma. There you go. Sip it slowly, okay? Or you'll throw it all up again.
Will the exam be over now?
Yep.
So sorry.
I've already told you it's alright.
We both know it's not. I will never forgive
Mum, don't. Okay, it's done now. Hey, how'd it go?
Good. Yeah, I think I did all right.
That's great. Glad for you.
I hope you don't mind, but I told Miss Khan about what happened.
What?
I had to, Gemma. She was in a right state, pacing all over the place.
I'm so sorry.
She said you should call her as soon as possible. Something about maybe being able to take your predicted grade.
Really?
Go on, you better call her straight away. Reception's best outside. Well, this isn't exactly the best way for us to get to know each other, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty extreme as icebreakers go. So, Gemma's told me a bit about you anyway.
Oh dear.
No, she's really proud of you. You're an artist and everything.
A different kind of artist these days.
Oh, this is just temporary.
I hope so.
Just learning to deal with your diagnosis. It can take time with something like that.
It's been nearly a year since I was diagnosed. I should be coping by now.
You'll learn to cope. You'll have to, won't you?
I just feel like I will never be able to look after Gemma like I used to. And a living like I used to. And as for my painting, well, I might as well give that up.
Well, look, if you don't mind me saying, I don't think that's a very positive attitude.
No, I suppose it's not.
Gemma's not a child anymore. She can look after herself. She just needs you to be there. To keep going for her. Anyway, aren't artists meant to suffer a bit? Who knows? Might make your paintings even better.
You're really only 16.
Going on 60, eh?
I just made my daughter miss the most important exam of her life.
Yeah, but at least the school will know about her situation now. They can give her the support she needs for her A-levels. Just a shame it took this to make them see.
Shame it took this to make me see.
Has Gemma told you about the Young Carers group?
Yeah,
I've been trying to get her to join.
I know. I will talk to her. Maybe it is a good idea.
I'm going to go now. I need to give my brother his lunchtime call, check he's alright.
Come and visit. I'd like to meet you when I'm in a better state than this.
Yeah. Yeah. Good work, buddy. See you at tea time.
So yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, she's okay. Look, Tyler said something about maybe taking my predicted grade. Right. Yeah, no, I know it doesn't happen very often, but I just thought like, yeah. Oh, I know I should have told someone, miss, but it's just not as easy to... Yes, I know. I know. Miss! I know! Look, I'm really sorry, miss. I don't mean to shout. I don't think it's necessarily up to me to tell the school about I mean, are you not supposed to be looking out for signs? Why does it have to be my responsibility? Okay. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, thank you so much, miss. Okay, I'll speak to you later.
Lionel, what did she say?
She apologised.
Really?
Yeah, she said I was right. She said she should have realised something was going on at home. I mean, she noticed me looking tired that time in maths. She put me in detention.
Brilliant! Proud of you.
Cannot believe I just shouted at a teacher.
Good fun, innit?
No, it's not. I'm shaking. Look.
Yeah. Your mum seems okay.
Oh, thank God.
I spoke to her about the Young Carers group. She said it might be okay for you to join that.
Did she? Good. Looks like I'm going to need them now, doesn't it?
Well, you know, most people do have to look after someone in their lifetime, Gemma. Just started early, that's all.
Yeah, I guess so.
About the other night.
Oh, no, look, forget it. I shouldn't.
No, I was just
Oh,
shocked.
Tyler, it's okay if you don't like me in that way. We can still be friends.
I do like you in that way.
Do you?
Just what if we started something and it went wrong? I've got too many people relying on me. I've got to be able to cope.
What are you going to do? Spend your entire life avoiding relationships?
You know, one of those people. I just can't believe you're interested.
Well, the thing is, Tyler, I'm one of those people too, and I am interested.